lovely people. How are you all doing today? It's a bit different, isn't it? I'm in the hall by the cupboard. I'm going to be putting some stuff up, getting some stuff down. Bit of a doing day because the weather, it's just getting some bubble wrap to wrap the thing that's going up in. Yeah, really odd weather. It's the middle of June. I don't know what the date is. 14th, 15th, something like that. Put it this way. I may not know the date, but I do know that tonight is England's first match in the World Cup. Come on, England! Croatia, kick off 9 o'clock. Yeah, this weird weather. I got up this morning, and one of the first things I do when I get up in the morning, I open the blinds in the front room, go to sit at my desk and start working. Opening the blinds, I couldn't see the sea. All I could see, these are my spare shelves for my bookcases in the living room. Yeah, you couldn't tell sort of where the sea ended and where the sky began. It was sort of this real sort of drizzly, murky, I was going to say grey, it wasn't really grey, it was sort of white. It just a real murky, horrible day and drizzly. So I thought, well, that's okay. I had planned to have a bit of a garden session, but it was just really damp out there, and I thought, you know what, that's fine. I've got tons of stuff to do indoors. I'll get on with the indoor stuff. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Well, it's afternoon now. The morning has disappeared already. I'm just going to put some tape to hold the bubble wrap. Yeah, I'm having a bit of a doing session. I think that's new Airbnb guests arriving. I hope they won't be noisy. One of the things I want to do is look for my garden journal. Is it up here? Another thing is my England flag up here? I haven't seen any England flags around in Swanage, so maybe I won't put it in the window. Maybe I'll just put it around my shoulders for the match. But also, I've got my phone sitting right here. I don't normally do that when I'm filming, but I'm waiting for calls back. Also, the doorbell may go because the fire alarm, which I test every month. Every month I do the short test, so I test both the lighting, the backup safety lighting that's in the communal area, so that if there's a power cut, that backup lighting comes on so people can get in and out. You know, especially if it's night time, there's an emergency, we need lighting so people can exit the building. But also the fire alarm system, which picks up on both smoke and heat. Didn't work this month. Just absolutely nothing. I just called the electricians this morning and, sorry, the only way I could describe it was like there was just no juice going into it. Hang on, I need to just stay a second. Move something out of the way. Get the riders further in and close that a bit so we can still talk. Yeah, it's just like there was absolutely no juice going in. So I rang them, and what was really lovely, and yay to local businesses, and actually it was the same when I was in London, using the same person all the time. You build a relationship. As we were chatting, so there's two guys run the business. One of them is the electrician who goes out and does the jobs, and the other one is sort of, he runs the company, does all the admin and the billing and what have you. So I rang the admin side of the company, and he started to say, we've been to you before, haven't we? Didn't we do your EIC? I was like, yeah. He said, didn't we also, wasn't there a thing with the lights? And I was like, yeah. And then the electrician popped back for lunch, and he said, I'm on the phone with Vivi, chatting. And he said, oh yeah, she's got such and such a whatever. Good memories. That's, don't know how long ago it was, but I'm going to say that was I know when it was. Last September I got the certificates done, so that's 10 months ago. Good memories. Anyway, as it happened, he said he's just having a spot of lunch and then he's back out this afternoon, but he's going to pop into me on the way. So I'll keep the ladders out because we need it to get to that fire thing box. I'm also expecting a call. Right, can I go up the ladder and talk? I might need to bring you guys close. This is one of those days where not only, hang on, not only, I'm going to point you up there so I can carry on talking while I'm at the top of the ladders. Not only could I do with a second pair of hands, I need a camera woman, but a second pair of hands so I can pass things down. Yeah, the reason the phone might go is because I'm expecting a call from a solicitor. Oh, stretch. Ah, good. Hang on, we'll have those. Ice packs. It's getting to that time of year. Well, I hope it's getting to that time of year, you know, summer, where I hope we're going to have heat again. And I've got lots of visitors lined up over the whole sort of summer and into the autumn, so I'll get those down, get them in the freezer, because then if we have picnics, actually talking of putting them in the freezer, and I haven't got it on the list for today, I really need to get the freezer defrosted. I think I've got about another month's worth of tomatoes left in there. Maybe I'll put it on the calendar for the end of July. That is wool, sheep's wool. It's completely natural in it's washed, but it hasn't been carded or anything. That is for stuffing. It's really tightly stuffed in there. That's for winter/Christmas projects. Right, I'm just trying to see where I can slide these shelves. I think they can go on top of this box. So yeah, the solicitor is to do with... Oh. Second pair of hands, please. Am I in control? Yeah. Second pair of hands, not needed for the minute. Yeah, the solicitor it's to do with the roof. I really need to get this roof situation progressed, and I think the only way to do it is with a solicitor. Right, I'm looking for, right, not that. This cupboard is a bit of a TARDIS. It's great, and it's quite well organised. Yeah, most of the stuff at the very top is, you know, sort of slightly infrequent use. You know, it's sensible. But I have to bring you down now. It does, whatever I'm looking for, it does always require the step ladder, because even if it's not on the top shelf, this middle shelf, I just put the wool back. Where shall I put the wool? It goes so far back that I can't get to the back boxes. Right, garden journal, and also I'm going to get the decorating box out because I want to fill the holes in anticipation of my framed artwork coming back. So a bit of sandpaper and, oh, excuse me. Hopefully it's in the next box. That was, oh no, that's Christmas decks. They need to go right to the back. This is the box I'm hoping it's in. Yeah, that was the electrician. So quick. must have only had a very little sandwich for his lunch. So it turns out all of the heat, smoke detection system, all the safety lights, that's all hardwired. It all has to be hardwired by law now. You can't have one of these battery operated smoke detectors anymore. You can have it in your own home, if you're in your own private home, but not if you A, let your property out, or B, in communal areas. Anyway, so that's all hardwired, but the little test panel, there were 3 buttons on it as I mentioned, that is battery operated, and that is the thing that's, the battery has died. What's really annoying is the whole unit has to be replaced, not just a battery. So wasteful. Anyway, do you remember I said, hopefully it's in my box with my, there's my Charlotte Bronte, underneath is Teddy Robinson. These are art books. There's Teddy Robinson. No! Where the blimmin' heck is this garden journal? There's one more box. There is no way. Oh, hang on, what's that? Oh no, it's a frame. There's absolutely no way I would have got rid of it. No way. Because A, it's useful, but also B, it has sentimental value for me. It's my kind of gardening history for the last 12 years or so. It's at least a decade of notes. Right, I'm going in, right to the back, right to the very back. Oh. This one. Give me a minute. Well, I have not found my garden journal. I now have no idea where it is. I don't have any secret hiding places. There's not enough. I don't have that many cupboards here, or boxes or anything else. Anyway, maybe it'll turn up one day. I need to just get on with a couple of quiet tasks now while I wait for the solicitors to get back to me. And I'm so relieved and happy that the current guests, it looks like they've gone out for the afternoon because, I don't know, look, you know, I want people to have a nice holiday, I want people to have a nice stay. But it's like people come on holiday and they just, they kind of forget how to be decent people, as in noise, just noise, being really loud in the hallway. I don't know, they can't all be staying there because I started to hear them all tumbling down the stairs a minute ago. There's obviously been a couple of kids up there, and obviously the flats are long. You know, the flats, they're not narrow, these are big, big old houses, but in terms of flats, it's a long flat. And the kids just run up and down and up, like through the whole flat, because it's kind of open plan-ish, as if it's a racetrack, and there are 2 steps, like I've got my 2 steps, 2 steps in the middle, they jump off that and crash, bang, land. And the number of times, not for this particular group, that I've had to go upstairs to say, please can you stop your kids from using the flat as a racetrack, as a playground, go outside. There's a whole beach. So this is my St George's sword, and one leaf, can you see how it's, I think, oh, because it sits right by the window, I think at some point I've smashed the blind into it. Not anymore, so I'm just going to take that little piece off. But look how gorgeous it looks. Oh, how appropriate, St George's sword on the day of England's first match. So yeah, it looks like they've all gone out for the afternoon, hallelujah. It's still, I'm looking across to the Purbeck Hills. It's so murky, you can just make out the hills, but otherwise it's, I don't know whether it's drizzle on the way in or a big sea fret that's moving up the valley, but it's yucky. So yeah, I will get on with jobs, bits and bobs of jobs. as I wait for this solicitor call. And one of my jobs, I've got my autumn cactus ready there, is just to give all my plants a bit of TLC, because I haven't really, my house plants that is, they haven't had a clean since January or so. So literally all I'm going to do with all of them is just a clean cloth, no product obviously, no polish, and I'm just going to wipe each leaf, just wipe any dust off. It does get quite dusty here, maybe because I don't dust often enough. Can't be bothered, you know, walking half the garden in every time I come in from the garden. Anyway, the point is, there's a layer of dust on all their leaves, which it's not good for them. You breathe through their leaves. So it's a nice quiet job to do on a day when there's quite a lot of stressy stuff going on. And I don't know about you, but I can't stand waiting for callbacks, you know, for a call back on the phone. When you're told, oh, you know, in a meeting at the moment, we'll call you back later. Well, what does later mean? Does it mean 12:30? Or does it mean 5:30 this afternoon? No idea. So rather than sitting staring at the phone, not doing anything, I get on with other jobs. And so long as it's a job that I can literally ditch the second my phone rings, fine. In other words, it's the kind of day where I'm not necessarily going to open a tin of paint and start painting, but I can certainly just give myself a little shower. But I can certainly look after my plants one at a time. So whilst I was up in the top, you can't quite see it on the table, I've got down sandpaper, and I've got my these fab little sort of spatulas. I don't know, plasterers may have a name for them, or, you know, those in the know may have a name, but I just use them for, they're almost like a sort of, somewhere between a spatula and a palette knife, but they're really great for doing small filling jobs. So I've got a small filling job to do in the hall. I say small, there's a hole, but then around the hole about that sort of size, that also needs filling, but only to the depth of about 1 millimetre. I mean, it's really, really subtle. But as I come down the hall each time, I can see, you know, as light catches on it, or more's the point, that slight depression, shadow catches in it, so I can see it. And when I get all my artwork back, my framed artwork, I don't know, I keep changing my mind about where everything is going to go. So if I put one of my pictures there that I'm thinking of, it would cover that bit of hole up. But if I put another one there, it wouldn't. And besides, even if I was to put a picture up and cover that bit of hole, that bit of roughness, I'd know it was behind there, and that would make my brain go a bit, I wouldn't sleep at night. I know there are much bigger things in life to be concerned about, but it just comes back to that, my adage all the time, if you're going to do something, just do it properly. And at some point, there's no desperate hurry. Where all the walls are white, apart from the bedroom is going to be papered, as you know. But all these walls are staying white, so they really don't need painting for a while. I'll get away with another sort of 4 or 5 years, probably, without painting. So let's get it done now, and then one day when I do come to decorate, it's one less job to have to do, isn't it? Yeah. Nice little jobs. The other thing to do today, and I noticed it massively right at the end of May, when we had the good weather, I'm sure you all did too, it's the state of my windows in terms of the glass. So I have the front windows cleaned for me. They're just too high up. At the lowest point, The bottom of the front window, the lowest point, is about 6 feet above my head, so that means the top of the window is probably more like 14 feet above me. At the bottom side, that's probably getting up more toward, yeah, it's a lot of feet above my head, and because it's on a slope, I'm not happy to put ladders out there, etc, etc. So I had the outside of the front windows cleaned. Now it's time to do the inside, but also on the back, yeah, the sun coming out in May just showed the windows are filthy. It's a combination of salt, so there's quite a lot of salt ends up on my windows, but also I think we had a bit of a Saharan wind at some point, because some of the dust is quite red, so I think I've got Saharan dust on my windows too. Anyway, they're filthy, so wash them inside and out. I can at least get inside done today. Looking again at the hills have disappeared now. I think rain's on the way. So I think washing the outside of the back windows today, it might have to be postponed. Oh, good grief. Anyway, let's crack on. What I didn't say in terms of cleaning the plants, I kind of hope it's obvious though, is that anything that doesn't have a smooth leaf, like all my pelargonium plants, I don't do this to. This is only for things with a smooth leaf. The living room ones are done already, so this is the last one. And it's nice to give the houseplants a bit of care, isn't it? Obviously I give them care in terms of watering them, but I suppose also we're getting to that time of year, probably beyond that time of year, when I can think about giving them a bit of a feed. Yeah, because I haven't been fed at all this year. This little autumn cactus though, it's putting out, I don't know if you can tell the difference in colour, new leaves, lots of new leaves. You can tell that's new because it's, can you see that against the cloth maybe? Little teeny tiny baby new leaves, they're so tiny. They're like perfect little miniatures. So yeah, I think it's time to get the feed out and think about giving them a feed. I'll just use, is it called Baby Bio? Yeah, I'll just use some Baby Bio. And it's one of those things exactly like with our garden plants in terms of giving them a feed. Don't think that doubling up on the feed is going to make your plants grow either doubly the size or doubly quickly or produce double the amount of harvest. It won't, it's just too much for them, it's too rich. So follow the manufacturer's instructions. Actually, I was talking about, who was I talking about this with the other day, about my garden, probably Paul. In the back garden, obviously I crammed in as much as I could last year. I've crammed in even more this year. And what I didn't do over the winter was I didn't put any of my compost bin compost on the beds. There wasn't very much anyway, but also I filled the beds up with the garlic and the broad beans. So hopefully this winter coming there will be more compost. There'll be enough compost from my compost bin to whack a load on, sort of as a mulch through winter and let the worms take it down. But what that means is through the summer, there's not, you know, I'm going to have depleted, not me, last year's plants, this year's plants, they'll be depleting some of the nutrients in the soil. So I will use my fertilizer. Oops, I'm woman handling you a lot today, aren't I? I will use the fertiliser that I always used to use in my allotment, which is quite simply my urine. So pee in a cup, as it were, use 1 part urine to 15 to 20 parts of water. Just water at the base of the plant, at the roots. It's particularly good for nitrogen hungry plants. So if you think of plants that are doing all their green stuff above ground, so beans love a bit of nitrogen, but ultimately I can use it on all my plants. I would never use it on seedlings. It's way too rich for seedlings. Seedlings really don't need to be being fed. If I still had quite substantial plants in modules, like how my foxgloves went in their module, they were in the modules forever and ever and ever. I wouldn't do it for foxglove. Let's say the squash would be a good example. They ended up being in the modules for maybe 8 weeks or so, and we're getting really yellow looking. So in that case, I might give them a feed with urine, but I might then, in that case, do 1 part to maybe 25, even 30 parts of water. So yeah, works a treat. And yes, women can use theirs as well as men. Let's destroy that myth. Anyway, yes, so that's another happy little plant, isn't it? It's funny, isn't it, how, you know, I'm perfectly happy to spend hours and hours and hours and hours with my plants outdoors, giving them all this attention and love and stroking and talking to them and singing to them and tying them and nipping and... Comes to my house plants, they get a drink of water and I forget them. So yeah, let's take a moment to look after our beautiful house plants, because they really work hard for us, don't they? Especially if you think about it in the winter when we're indoors so much more of the time. The veg garden is probably like by winter. These gorgeous plants that we have right next to us in our homes, and we're ignoring them, or at least I am. So yeah, give them a bit of TLC. Right, next job, oh yeah, windows. I need vinegar, I need newspaper. I'm also, this back wall here, it's a tiny little kind of, it's almost like a smudge of mould. The property's still quite damp, partly because I've only got a single glazing and it rattles and all that damp gets in here. So I'm going to spray that with vinegar and give it a scrub. I might wait to do that until tomorrow so that I can have all the windows and doors open to get rid of the vinegar smell. But certainly I'm going to crack on with the windows. Newspaper and vinegar. They still look shocking just because of, oh my goodness, how filthy they are on the outside. One of the reasons for not getting on with doing the insides sooner is because, well, from about October right through till beginning of April, stink of vinegar, I hate it. It was, the windows were running with condensation all the time, so it was, there's no point in cleaning them yet. But it does make me wonder about how much light is occluded, excuse me, scrunch, how much light is occluded by having grubby windows. I'm not a photographer, so I don't have a light meter, but I bet someone out there knows. We'll probably find out it's something like 5%. But whatever, you know, as we go into the summer, bit of elbow grease, go on, give it some. The brightness of the sun on the windows shows the filth up. But B, excuse me, scrunching again, in the summer I'm much more inclined to have the blinds all the way open because the windows are open as well, so I can really see the windows. And yeah, it's been really getting on my nerves for ages. So it's high time. So yeah, a bit of vinegar, a bit of water, the tiniest smidge, like a drop of washing up liquid. Honestly, it's really just a drop, that it just helps to break any surface tension. Give it a good wipe with the microfiber cloth and then finish off with newspaper, streak free. Lovely job on the inside. Oh my goodness, actually just looking at this newspaper, this one's from the beginning of June. This cover story, please, it's worth mentioning here again. Let's find some light. When you're walking your dog down here, when you're on the cliffs, for the love of God, keep your dog on a lead. because often especially at this time of year, there's been huge growth in sort of weeds, wildflowers, grass, whatever, so it's quite often you can't actually see where the edge of the cliff is, and for a dog they're just going snuffling under there, and the next thing you know, huge drop. So this poor little chap was rescued. It took, I think they said it was 5 hours, a 5-hour rescue in the end. It was a horrible night, thunderstorms, lashing rain. It was that night we had the thunderstorms, and it took how many different teams? There were so many different teams. The RNLI, the lifeboat was out, the Coast Guard rescue teams were out from Swanage and from St Albans. Then they had to get a fire crew in. Also the Coast Guard from Kimmeridge came. A rope technician from Poole came. And of course the poor dog was terrified, and it kind of, they managed to get it, and then it escaped them, I think about 3 or 4 different times, and they finally secured this poor terrified dog. And can you imagine what, that dog's owners, I mean, it's, our dogs are they're members of the family. I don't care what anyone says. I'm not going to say, oh, it's my baby. It's not my baby. I didn't give birth to it. It's a dog. But they're members of the family. So to just the initial trauma of seeing your dog go over a cliff, I mean, it just makes me feel sick to the stomach. But then to have that massive rescue attempt, I hope they gave a massive donation to all the different charities involved. Anyway, so yeah, if you're down here or anywhere, if you're anywhere enjoying a holiday, a day out, an afternoon walk with your dog, and you're near cliffs, please just put it on the lead. Once you're back on the flat and you're in a park or the beach, there are plenty of places to let your gorgeous furry friend off its lead, but not on a cliff top walk. Anyway, right, I've got all the front windows to do now. I told you it was a step ladder day because the front windows are even bigger than the bedroom windows. It is, have I left a streak? You see, once I've done the outside, then I'll see the streaks on the inside. I'll just do the insides again. Onwards. It suddenly feels really humid and I'm feeling a bit hot. Perhaps we're going to have a thunderstorm. Ooh, that'd be exciting. My list, there's still a mass to do on my list. Front windows, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to stop. I've been chatting for long enough, I think. I've just, popped some soup on the hob. It's 2:30, I'm hungry. I literally started today at 7, so that was 7.5 hours ago, and I haven't stopped yet. So I went without breakfast, just motor on. But yeah, I need something to eat, so some soup for lunch, then I'll carry on this afternoon. One of the things I must remember to do, and I've made a quick scribble of a note to myself, that thing with the fire alarm, the system is still working, it's just that switch, the test switch isn't working, so the system works. I now have to write a record of that. Honestly, it's health and safety gone mad. Yeah, but I have to keep record of absolutely everything to do with the fire and the safety, the safety lights, that whole system. Normally it's a tick box exercise once a month. I write the date and I sign it to say it's all done. But any issues like this, I then have to write up a report and keep that as a document for however many years. Oh, the joy. Anyway, cracking on. Hopefully this will ring with the solicitors before too long. What's this? The law of sod. I was going to say, what's the chance that they ring just when I'm putting the soup into my bowl? Anyway, I hope you're all well, lovelies. I hope you all got your spring cleaning done a bit earlier than me. But whatever you're up to, try and have fun doing it. Get up, move, be productive. Don't sit around and wait for life to happen. Come on, I'm waiting for you to happen. I hate waiting. Just before I go, I noticed this the other day in one of the shops. As I was leaving, the guy in the shop said to me, "See you later." And I thought, no you won't. I'm going home, you won't see me later. And now I'm thinking, when the receptionist at the solicitors said he'll give you a call back later. Might be later this month. Anyway, I'm not going to wait around for the call. I'm going to get on. But first things first, lunch. All right, lovelies, until the next one, look after yourselves, and I'll see you all again really soon. For now, though, cheerio.